we have a very, very special guest with you. We have Marques. He's going to tell you a little bit more about his nonprofit and more about who he is. But the reason why we're coming to you today is because we're going to tell you about his history. He started a nonprofit. His 501c3 is pending, and in actuality, we're going to check the status. It should be approved within the next few days, so we'll make sure we check the status after this video as well. But his 501c3 is pending. I'll let him tell you all about his nonprofit. But he definitely didn't have an easy start in starting his nonprofit. It's all about getting pictures to inmates whose family have a hard time finding them or have a hard time sending pictures and things like that. It makes that process a lot easier. But he's doing tons of other things as well, not just the picture portion. He's going to be doing all kind of mentorship. But I'll let him tell you about it. Tell us a little bit about your history, who you are, why you decided to start a nonprofit, and a little bit about the nonprofit Care Pictures Love.
So hi Tracy, good morning. Thanks for having me on. So my name is Marques. I started the nonprofit Care Pictures Love. We're founded in Arizona, Peoria. So the reason why I wanted to start this nonprofit is because I just really wanted to, help families that are separated, due to a family member being incarcerated. And also the main person that's affected by a parent's incarceration is the children. And a lot of times, you don't necessarily want to tell these children where their parents are and what's the situation, so they kind of go about figuring it out by themselves. So our mission is to help children affected by having a parent that's incarcerated. One of the things that we do is we have a service where we simplify the process to send pictures to people that are incarcerated, which is you send the pictures that you want to send from the moments that your friends and family members are missing to us through our website, which is www.carepictureslove.com. And we have those pictures fulfilled and sent to your friends and family members that are incarcerated, just to give them something to look forward to when they come home. And so the reason why I started this nonprofit, it actually started off as just a thought, in my mind, because I know that people incarcerated, they don't have access to, the social media, phone messages, sending pictures from phone to phone and things like that. They have to receive all of their correspondence and pictures through the mail. And, so nowadays things are such fast paced that, people don't have time to, go to the post office to get stamps, envelopes, develop pictures, the things that it takes to correspond and share these memories with their friends and family members that are incarcerated. So therefore, I wanted to provide a way for, this to happen. And at the time, I didn't know that, there were services available like this. But when I did start to find out about them, all of them pretty much were, send your pictures to me, we'll develop them, this is the price, pay this, pay this, pay that. But I didn't see anything as far as, how they were helping or giving back. It was more so I felt that they were continuing to drain family members that are already suffering financially from not having that friend or family member in the, the family or in the household. So, I didn't want to just be like them. I felt that it was a need to, give back. So that's why I wanted to make Care Pictures Love into a nonprofit organization.
Awesome. About how long ago did you have the vision of doing it, and how long did it take to kind of get everything for people who are just getting started? How long do you think, how long did it take you to get to where you are now?
Well, it's a funny story behind that, which is, it was actually, I would say August 30th, 2015, when I had the initial idea. And I forgot it was such a good idea, and I couldn't believe that I forgot it. And when I tried to tell someone else, I couldn't remember. And then the next day, which was August 31st, I remembered and I wrote it down. And since then, I've been taking gradual steps that have turned into amazing progress. Especially since I met you, you just helped me in so many different ways, Tracy. And I just really appreciate all of the work that you put into helping Care Pictures Love and making my dream come true. Like I'm really, I'm really making progress and doing the things that I really love and that I'm passionate about. And I just appreciate you so much.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. That's my whole goal and vision, is to see more people impacting, specifically people who don't come from a background where they have an uncle that they can go and get a startup fund for a business or for a nonprofit. Specifically minorities and the underprivileged, underserved is the people that I want to help to start nonprofits and businesses. Just because every single business and nonprofit I started my first business when I was 10. I think I told you that before. But for people who are watching, I started my first business when I was 10. I started doing hair. Ever since then, I had business after business. I fell into the nonprofit world through working with a client, and I realized I would much rather do nonprofit work than business, because you can do the same type of services, the same type of products, except for a lot of your proceeds are going towards developing the community. So it's basically a win-win. You're bringing in funding and you're also developing the community at the same time. So I definitely appreciate that. My whole goal is to see people like you impacted in the way that they want to impact, taking an idea and actually getting it manifested and turning it into something big. But the first step is having that drive. So you definitely stand out to have that drive. We've set up over 2,000 nonprofits. I would just say, just regular statistic wise, maybe 50% of those are still doing it. And it's not that, we did everything the exact same way, but the one part that I can't give you, no matter what type of service you get or no matter how much you pay me, I can't give you drive. You got to have that personal drive yourself. You know what I mean? And so that's awesome that you have that. What would you say, were you always there, or did you always have that drive of having a dream and wanting to actually put that dream into action? Or is it something that happened that made you see things a little bit clearer?
You know what? I always had a lot of drive, but I would say that I was driving in the wrong direction.
Gotcha.
And, the environment and the way that I came up, I had parents, they both were incarcerated. I've been into foster homes, group homes. I've been to juvenile hall, the county jail, and then prison. So due to all of those experiences, I really just wanted to change, and not just change for myself, but also be able to help someone else that's going through the same things that I went through. So I figured that, if I can share my story or be that person that was there for me, that I wasn't able to realize what they were trying to do for me to someone else, then maybe I can, make a difference and help someone else. So they won't have to, go through the things that I went through to reach this conclusion. So I always had this drive, but before I was trying to do the wrong things the right way. And now I know that doing the right things the right way is the way to go.
So you can use that same drive that people use to do things the wrong way, and basically put that into something that's positive, something that's legit. There are so many, like, even when I think about incarceration and people who commit crimes and things like that, when I think about that, some of the things that people do, they have businesses, they have a business mind, they have to organize people, they have to have employees, they have to have, it's a complex structure. So it's like you could take that same structure and put it into something that's going to be of benefit, that's going to be on the up and up, and something that everybody can kind of benefit from. So that is awesome. What would you tell somebody who just, they're stuck right now, they're like working a job or doing something that they don't like, they've had a vision or had a dream or thought about something, had an idea, but they just don't know what the first step is that they really want to take? What advice would you give them to kind of getting started on their nonprofit or any type of idea they have?
You know what I would say is that, knowledge is power, and power is the ability to do. And the thing is that a lot of people, they have the idea that they want to do something different, but not sure exactly what to do. And even when people know what they want to do, it's just the actual steps that it takes to do it. And a lot of times it's fear that stops people from moving forward. But what you have to understand is that, you know, you make your bed and you lay in it. And if you don't like the way it is, then you can get up and remake your bed again and again and again. And really, and really, you know, once you absorb the knowledge to do the things that you want to do in life, then it takes away the fear, it takes away the risk. But even if you do make a mistake, it's okay, because, you know, you learn from that mistake, and now you won't make that same mistake moving forward. You know, so everything that you're doing is for your greater good. You know, if this is your dream, if this is what you want to do, then just reach out to other people that are doing similar things. You know, if you don't have time to read books on exactly what it is you want to do, listen to audios, watch YouTube videos, you know, on the topic of the things that you want to do, because these things that you're dreaming about, they're going to give you the life that you truly desire and that you truly deserve. So I encourage and support anyone that wants to do something more with their lives, or even reach, you know, so that they can leave something behind to their children that's better, because you can't leave that job behind to your children, you know. So
right,
you can't leave that.
Absolutely. And you know what I find is leaving that drive around to your children as well, not just with the things that you can leave to them materially, but also they are watching you. They are watching you 24/7, and we always hear it. They, you know, they say, you hear parents say, "Do as I say, not as I do," which is totally out the door, because though, you know, of course, kids should also listen to what you say. They're watching you, and they're watching how you have a dream. Daddy has a dream. He's stepping out on it. He's promoting it. This is how you have a dream and step out on it. So now when they hit 18, my son is 16. He's already working with a famous animator. He's an artist. He's working with a famous animator right now, paid, doing some of his doing work. They're working on a cartoon together, just because he's used to having a dream and thought that he wants to do, reaching out to people, putting action behind it, and, you know, and getting started. So leaving that to your children is absolutely awesome. So that is great. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Congratulations on your son's success. And one of the things I want to say too is that, you know, how people say, "Do as I say, not as I do." But at the same time, it is true that actions speak louder than words.
That's it. That is absolutely it. Actions speak louder than words. And one thing that you mentioned that I kind of want to elaborate on is you make your own bed. Sometimes people are moving so fast that they don't realize that they're making their own bed. So just to get, because I talk about relationships and stuff too, like I get a lot of friends who are always complaining about, "Oh man, there's a whole lot of horrible guys out here. It's a cesspool." That's a specific quote that I've gotten from somebody. "It's a cesspool out here, these guys," and blah, blah, blah. What I like to say is, no, you have to realize, again, you made your bed. That's whether it's with business, whether it's with relationships, your friendships, you decided you let those people inside of your life. You know what I mean? And so it's just the 10 people that you've dated. It's not the whole world. It's the 10 people that you've decided to attract and you've decided to date. So how you turn around and make a whole nother bed is looking at every day and saying, who am I talking to? What type of communications and connections I'm having? Just to give a little background for anybody that's watching, we met on Fiverr. A little background about Fiverr. Fiverr is all about connecting people with a service to somebody who is looking for that service. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much what all websites and all social media is all about. It's about making connections. So when you find yourself in a position of putting yourself in not the best bed, the bed that you made isn't the one you want to lie in. Like you said, you have to think about, what type of connections have I made? How can I make different connections? Most of the time, everybody out here who's ever started something, I started everything from scratch. I didn't have nobody that I could ask for money for to start anything. Every single business I started, I had to start from the ground up and pulling and prying and things like that. So being that that's the case, anybody who's there and who's getting started, I want to help them as much as possible. That's what I want to do. And most people who have started from scratch and are now somewhere, they want to help other people. They're open to it. But a lot of times fear is one thing that holds a lot of people back. They have that fear that, you know, well, no, I don't want to reach out. You haven't even reached out. Like a lot of people will say to me sometimes, well, I don't know how to get in contact with certain people. Well, they have social media and things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yes. If you message P. Diddy, he might not respond to you. You know what I mean? But he may. You know what I'm saying? You never know. And not to mention, you can do things to up that message. If you send him a typed message, he may not respond to that. If you send him a video, he might respond to that. Again, also, the video that you're sending him, are you messaging somebody who's connected to your vision and who you can help them and they can help you and you can create win-wins? Are you giving or are you kind of taking? You know what I'm saying? And when people switch over to giving and helping, like you've done, you've seen a need, you've seen an area that it wasn't working out, like you said, exactly how you're like, okay, with the pictures, they're kind of charging high prices. They're kind of putting people who are already in a bad situation in a worse situation because they have to pay these high prices, and you saw that need and now you want to feel that need, and that's the start of any successful business or nonprofit. So that's absolutely great.
And also one of the things is that, thank you. And one of the things is that, you know, when someone is incarcerated, sometimes they're housed at a facility that's really far away from their friends and family and their home. So, you know, you have long distance collect call fees that you have to pay, you know, and on top of that, you know, visiting is strained due to, you know, having to, you know, either travel by vehicle or plane and having to rent a room, you know, and then the regular telephone calls are extremely expensive. And also the, you know, the commissary and food, just everything all around with having a friend or family member is expensive, you know, and people have their lives, their things that they're already going through. So to have that added on as an extra expense, you know, it's hard to deal with. And, you know, because of that, you know, those connections end up broken. And it has the person that's incarcerated can feel, you know, left behind or forgot about. And, you know, these pictures, they give that person something to look forward to. But that's from the perspective of the person that's incarcerated. You know, my real focus is on the children that are infected by incarceration, because without that parent in the house, the house isn't complete. And we all know that it takes a village to raise a child. And within that village, the most important person is the parent. You know, so when that parent isn't there, you know, it changes the whole dynamics from finances, the mental support, the, you know, support with school and homework, and just being a good role model to that child and providing that love and that care that they need. And, you know, someone has to be there for them, and someone has to, you know, educate them and talk to them and work on keeping that connection alive. You know, when my parents were incarcerated and I was a child, I never got to visit them. I never knew where they were. I didn't receive letters. I didn't get phone calls. I didn't know how to put money on my phone. I didn't know how to do any of these things to continue to strengthen that relationship. So for a long time, you know, I went without, you know, having my parents in my life at all. So, you know, one of the things that we do is, when someone is incarcerated, if you have a friend or a family member that's locked up anywhere, it doesn't matter where they are, you can contact us, Care Pictures Love, you know, on our website, send us an email and we will help you find that person. All you need is the name and the full name, first and last name. A birthday would help, you know, but we will definitely help you try to find that person. So one of the things also I want to say is that, you know, we give 100% of the proceeds to children with incarcerated parents to purchase school supplies and also to pay for higher education, you know, because we want to encourage these children to go to school and do things the right way so they won't follow in those same footsteps and become incarcerated or, you know, have to go through that terrible, terrible way to go in life. So, you know, and we know that children have, you know, school supplies that come from schools and things like that, which I feel that, you know, a lot of things with the schools need to be better. And I support the teachers. They're striking right now. And I definitely support the teachers, and I believe they deserve more pay. So, but to the children, they have school supplies at school, but I don't want school to be their only association with learning. I want them to be comfortable and associated with learning in the household also.
Right.
You know, so that's why I feel it's important for them to have all the same tools they have at school at home, so that they can be just as creative in their free time as well as when they are in school, because I feel that will help them out a lot in the long run. And and you know, and me growing up, you know, going to college was something that just seemed like it was impossible for me. You know, I didn't know anything about it, or, you know, anything past high school. So, you know, I want to make sure that, you know, these children who don't have their parents there to teach them or lead them the right way, know that these things are available for them. You know, and I want to help, you know, fund, you know, for these kids to go to college, or, you know, vocational, to get trades, to learn skills, you know, how to run a business, how to organize time, people, and resources in order to see a profit. You know, I want to do so much to help and give back to others. And what I did realize is that once I started helping and giving back to others, you know, I started to receive a lot of support, you know, from everyone who hears and finds out what I do, you know, what I'm passionate about, they all want to help, you know. So one of the avenues that we have for people to help is I sit down and I do interviews with them about how incarceration affected their lives. You know, whether they've had a friend or family member or been incarcerated themselves, you know, how did that affect you? You know, how did that change your life? And because what I want to know is, I want to figure out, why is it that some people have contact with the police or being incarcerated, and, you know, it deters them from doing what they did and they never do it again. Other people, they have these situations, and then they just continue and continue and continue on with, you know, becoming incarcerated and dealing with the police. And also, you know, when you look back on your past and the decisions that you made when you were younger, a lot of times you can see where you went wrong and what you could have done different. So it's like, you know, and then you come to the conclusion that I should have did this or did that. So, you know, I want people to share that story and those mistakes and things that they made, those experiences that they have, and also share that conclusion that they have. So maybe someone else can take from that story and come up with that same conclusion and make those choices and decisions without having to experience all of the bad that the person had to go through. And I really wouldn't say it was bad, because if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger.
It makes you stronger. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll definitely say, having that support and having people who have gone through something, the first step is, when you go through something, here's what sometimes happens, is sometimes we go through things, and then once we're on the other side, it's just like, man, I don't want to talk about that stuff no more. But there's tons of people that can be helped by the things that you actually went through, rather that be being incarcerated, rather it be going through an abusive relationship, rather it be, you know, whatever the case may be, going through, starting a business and it being a not so good business, or being a good business, whatever it is, when you can start to share those experiences, that gives other people an opportunity to grow as well. So being at the fact that if I had a loved one who was incarcerated, I have several loved ones who are incarcerated, to be able to come to your channel, and we're going to put all your links up under this video as well, because you do have a YouTube channel as well as a Facebook page and website. We're going to put that all below this video as well. But to be able to come to your channel and ask a question, or, you know, or see, well, how can I still feel connected to that person? How can I really, and how can I, here's another question that some people may ask, how can I stay connected to that person, stay supporting them, but then still be able to stay sane myself as well? You know what I mean? Because that's a hard time, you know. So if you're new to the situation and someone else has went through it already, that's always the best support system you can get. It doesn't matter what type of situation. Starting a nonprofit, getting grants, finding somebody who's went through it, who succeeded, and then being able to gain some knowledge from it, which you're sharing now, which is absolutely great. I would love to come on there and share my story. Actually, when I was maybe about 13, 14, because I grew up in Detroit, on the east side, which is like the hood. It's like the worst, one of the worst areas. I think Chicago beats it. I think it's number 2. I don't know what it is now, but back then it was a pretty bad area. And just growing up like that, you're going to run into different type of people. So I definitely had a moment where I got with the wrong crowd, and I'm not going to go all into it because that's not what this video is about. But I love to come on there and show, because like it was only one time that it took for me to see police circling around and stuff for me to be like, you know, because ultimately what you realize is nothing is worth your freedom. You know what I mean? Like nothing is worth your freedom. I could be broke. That's still no difference. That's still much better than not having my freedom. You know what I mean? So, so yeah, so we'll definitely be doing more videos. I really appreciate you coming on and talking today. And like I said, if you want to follow some things that Care Pictures Love is doing and get connected, just take a look at the links below this video. And did you want to end with anything there or say anything else before we go?
Yes, definitely. So, you know, also we have products, we have shirts and sweaters that are available on our website, and 100% of the proceeds from the shirts and products that we offer on our website also goes towards children with incarcerated parents. So we have donations set up, everything, links are going to be available for that. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And I definitely look forward to making a difference in the community. And I appreciate if any of you guys would share this video. And anybody who's interested in starting a nonprofit, I highly recommend reaching out and working with Tracy, because she's been a great coach for me and my whole team. So I just want to say thank you to Tracy again.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And if this is your first time seeing me, we set up nonprofits. We help with planning. We help with grant writing. We've received over $4.8 million in grant funding. So if you have any nonprofit questions, just go ahead and comment below or shoot me a message. We're also going to be doing more videos like this. I want to start to share the stories of some of the nonprofits that's gotten started. So we're going to be doing more videos like this. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you'll be able to see more videos like this as well. And we will see you next time.